Mom had both my dogs euthanized without telling me. Should I forgive her? When I, 24M, turned 18, I moved one town over for college, USA. A few months after that, my mom, 50F, and I are talking on the phone, and I ask how are the dogs are doing, 12M, 64 in dog years. Mom: oh, we had the dogs put down. Me and your brother both agreed they'd had a good life. And that was that. The dogs I grew up with since I was 6, gone forever. If she'd told me in advance, I would have taken the next bus home. We could have gone for one last walk, spent the day together, gone somewhere special, said goodbye, etc. And I could have been there with them when it happened. They weren't dying or in pain, nothing was stopping her telling me. At the time she gave some self-serving apology. I wound up ghosting her a few years later, for this and other reasons. Now, I could tell her how this made me feel, she'd say she's sorry, and we have a Kodak moment. But every time I think about this woman all I feel is hatred. She can't undo what she did. I picture my dogs dying alone in some sterile room, and it only reinforces my decision to cut her out of my life. How do I forgive her for this? Do you think it's even worth trying? I'm honestly not sure I'd ever be able to forgive my family for this. Has she given any reasoning or shown any remorse for her disgusting and cruel behavior? I work in the veterinary field as a kennel assistant and vet assistant in training. Originally I wasn't going to comment until I say the dying alone comment, and I want you to know that if the client doesn't come in with the patient to say goodbye, they aren't alone, and normally a tech or assistant will stay in the room with them until they believe they have passed, in which the doctor will confirm. While I have not seen this in the few months I've been there, I have come into the room after the owner has left, and I always tell them, their soul I suppose, they were loved and it's okay to be confused and they can stay or they can move on, it's their choice. I just want to let you know they are not just left alone to die in a room by themselves. I hope this information helps. Honestly, I can't blame you. I read this sitting here with my 3 pups and cried. Was there any reasoning for putting them down aside from, they had a good life? Being old doesn't mean they should die. If they weren't sick, your mom and brother are assholes. WTF. Who puts the family pet down because they chose to move somewhere they didn't want pets? I don't blame you for feeling hatred. As for the person who commented above, this was what happened when I had to put my cat down. She was sick and at the pet hospital and they had to put her down before I could get there. Someone was with her the whole time. So I'm glad that brings you some kind of peace in this shitty situation. I couldn't forgive her or your brother. I would have to cut ties. I maintain anyone that would euthanize a healthy dog has some things similar to sociopathy, and it's to be advised at all cost. Dude, so glad I'm not alone in this. My mother and I's relationship has always been very tumultuous, and we've in fact not been in close contact for several years now, except when grandma is involved, but back before we stopped talking she did the same bullshit to me. Even worse, her reasoning was that our 2 childhood dogs had somehow damaged a corner of her new BF's car while trying to get to a wild animal, and so it was just easier for her. For what it's worth, she cited the older dog's age as reason, but just like you said, we were only a call away and clearly would have appreciated the chance to say goodbye. I realize I didn't answer OP's question, mostly because I'm clearly biased, but IDK if I'll ever be able to forgive my mother for that. It really hurt. Okay, wait, were they sick? Were there health issues? Or was it literally just, alright, well, they're old. They've lived a good life, but it's been long enough now. Fuck your scum mother and brother. Don't talk to them again. I would wish death every day on anyone who did this. I am so sorry they did this. You. My bio dad put down a cat that I absolutely loved without telling me, and even though that cat was sick it hurt so bad to know I didn't get to say goodbye. What your mother did was selfish and callous in the extreme, and I would never be able to trust her again. I wouldn't be able to forgive my mom for doing something like that. Whether you want to have some sort of contact with her at all because she's your mom, that's up to you. I don't think you'd ever have a close relationship, and she sounds like the type of person that would be very frustrating to be in regular contact with. I think you are justified staying no contact. Putting down a dog for selfish reasons is psycho. Damn, this is awful. I sorry for your dogs. I know how it feels. Yeah, that's some terrible shit. Never. I would never ever be able to forgive your mother for killing your dogs just because it was convenient for her. What the actual fuck? If it hasn't even crossed her mind to call you, it's really sociopathic. And you worry how to forgive her? What if this was her? Yeah, Mum, you had a good life, bye now. Jesus fuck, this made me cry. I'm so sorry. I would cut her off, no regrets. It's normal to feel hurt and angry, I can't even imagine. Simple answer. Ask the dogs. Oh, you can't, unforgivable. Sounds like she give as much shit about your feelings as she did the dogs. Nope. You don't have to forgive her. It's tantamount to murdering family. It's not euthanasia when the being wasn't sick, that's just murder. I went no contact with my mother over dogs. She has never taken responsibility for any living thing beyond the initial excited phase, and that includes her children. She's gone through pets like underwear, some meeting sketchy ends. When I found out she was going to breed dogs, that was it for me. I'm so sick of her not taking care of things she committed to. As one of those things, her telling me she was going to make a bunch of new beings intentionally, it broke me. We are supposed to be advocates and you get that. It's why you're so mad. I'm not going to tell you to forgive her because I suspect this behavior has carried over into your life like it did mine. That's seriously deranged behavior. I think you are better off without someone that would do that to you in your life. I'm a little teary-eyed just from the thought. I'm not the emotional type, but my heart goes out to you. I don't think I could let that go. I say just keep on keeping like you have and try not to dwell. I have a dog 10F, and I would never forgive my mother if she did this. Sorry for your loss. Heartbreak. I am so sorry, Op. I don't know anyone could forgive something like that. People make mistakes, but this sounds like pure selfishness, and it's okay to not be ready to forgive. I have nothing else to say other than I am really truly sorry, Op. Sending you lots of strength and virtual hugs. There's no point in forcing forgiveness, that will come with time and perspective. And if it never happens, then that's just how it is. Nope. I would pop the fuck off. I just lost my seemingly healthy dachshund in October. He was 12 and prior to that horrible day acted like a puppy. I thought I would have years more with them as they tend to be a long-lived breed. It ripped my heart out and I still cry regularly because it was so damn sudden. Doing it behind your back is unforgivable. I do not care about her circumstances. You could have tried to have a friend look over them or asked for a shelter if they had a long-term foster around. If the dog was relatively healthy, this is just cruel. I could never trust the lot of them again. Even if your relationship with your mom was good, otherwise it's really not something you can forgive in my experience. My dad put my dog down and told me in a very cold and cruel way that to this day 8 years later I still haven't fully gotten over. No. It sounds like you moved away because of a toxic relationship with her. She's confirmed her toxicity by killing the dogs. I'd personally cut her out of your life for good. Just because she's a parent doesn't mean you have to talk with her. Boundaries are good and it appears you had already set some. Lol fuck no. No, unforgivable. My dad, who grew up in the countryside, used to thump my dogs on the head hard, and I've never forgiven him for this. He died of cancer 12 years ago and I love him very much, but this I will never forgive or forget. I think he'd be shocked by my feelings on this. Cruelty to the defenseless is just too much to swallow. I would lose my mind if my parents ever touched my dog. So yeah, your feelings are totally relevant. So I flew home to spend time with my parents after really stressful few months at work. That's when I found out my dog was basically dying. I was the one who had to deal with trying to save her and ultimately having her put to sleep during my time off. I can't forgive them for that, and every time my dog is mentioned I feel hatred ripping out of my chest. If I can't forgive them that, I can't imagine you ever finding it in yourself to forgive your mother completely skipping letting you know that she is going to put your dog down. That's absolutely horrible. I'm sorry you had to go through that. IDK, what forgiveness will even do? Do you even want to patch up a relationship with someone like that, even if they're your mother? This is one of those life-changing moments where someone shows their true colors and your mom painted something grotesque. puts convenience of living over actual life and her relationship with you. To me, she's too sick to cure. Walk away. Why the fuck would anyone kill their pet because they don't want to take care of them? Were they ill? 'Cause it sounds like she was just done. I can't express how sad and furious I am reading this. I would recommend to forgive her for yourself, not her. You can forgive her and also not allow her into your life again to cause any further damage. Forgiveness means the release of the hurt, anger and bitterness caused by the actions of someone else. Forgiving them does not mean that you have to give them an opportunity to hurt you again. Forgive and forget her. Entirely. Sending virtual hugs for you and your good dogs. Hugging face, hugging face, hugging face. So your mom murdered your dogs 6 years ago because they became inconvenient to her lifestyle 6 years ago and yours just now asking if you should move on and forgive her? Something doesn't seem right about this post to me. Let her know she can remember this when she's old and alone in a nursing home. I am sure she had a good life. Jesus, I'm so sorry this happened. I would 100% have to cut ties. I cannot believe what I'm reading. Be done with her. I would be tempted to tell her that you will be putting her down when she gets to be too much trouble for you in her old age and that she shouldn't mind because she's had a good life. Mostly kidding, but sort of not. What a terrible woman to do that to pets. How do I forgive her for this? Do you think it's even worth trying? Not. No. Maybe shortly before she turns 64 you can call her and ask her for when she has scheduled her medical euthanasia, since she feels that she had a good life at that point and that now would be time to go. Why do you want to forgive her? Are you unhappy without her in your life? Damn, that's cold. I will be honest, I'm not an animal person. We had soul when I was a child but I don't plan to ever have one as an adult, but I don't think I would be able to forgive your mother in your place. In my opinion, having an animal is as big of a commitment as having a child, so you need to or have the will to have one and the capacity to be up to the responsibilities, or you shouldn't have one. You don't put down an animal when you feel like it, as you wouldn't do that for a child. And the way she did it and inform you. Nah, just come on now. Unless she can come up with a better reason than her lease was up, then no. With mom's reasoning you should be able to euthanize her rather than take of her in her old age. I mean, mom would have had a good life by then. Why should mom need to burden you with emotional and financial expense of taking care of her? Bet mom doesn't like her words now. Just go LC, or better yet NC, for your own sanity. Get your things from mom's house and don't look back. She has your brother. That should be more than enough.